Here we're going to talk about cube roots of integers, so positive or negative whole numbers. Since we get pretty used to square roots at a certain point, when we first start dealing with cube roots, one thing I like to do, and you only really have to do it once and you can hang on to it for some of the rest of the sections, is make myself a little cheat sheet of perfect cubes. Because for perfect squares, everybody's familiar with 4, 9, 16, 25, but perfect cubes we haven't seen as often. And so I'll just write down what's 1 to the third, what's 2 to the third, what's 3 to the third, what's 4 to the third, what's 5 to the third. You know, as many as you feel like. I went up to 10 here. Especially these bigger ones, like 6 to the third, 8 to the third. We probably don't know those off the top of our head. So it can speed these along to have that, and then you get used to recognizing some of these 8, 27, 64, 125 are probably the big ones as being perfect cubes. But same as the square root is asking, what 2 numbers can I multiply to get this number? A cube root is asking, what 3 numbers can I multiply to get this? What can I put to the third power to get this number? So when I'm looking at third root of 1,000, they're saying, what number to the third actually gives me 1,000? And if I have my little cheat sheet, it's even faster. I can see 10 to the third is 1,000, so the third root of 1,000 is 10. We'll skip to the last one and we'll do the middle one last. Third root of 343. So there's one I probably wouldn't know off the top of my head. I could fiddle around with my calculator for a while if I'm in a class that lets me use calculators. But I have my little cheat sheet over here. I can see 7 to the third. So the third root of 343 is 7. Now here's something interesting about third roots that you can't do with square roots. The third root of negative 64. Well, picture, I can see 64 on my little cheat sheet list. It says 4 to the third is 64. But what if I change this to negative 4 to the third? Well, since I'm multiplying 3 numbers by itself, the first 2 negatives will cancel. I'll be left with 1 left over. So in third roots, you actually can get negative numbers. So if I can see, oh, 4 to the third is 64, then I know negative 4 to the third would be negative 64. You can have negative answers because you have 3 numbers. You can have 1 negative left over where that you can't have that with square roots.